Hi, this is Denise, and today I just want to do a little recording on a session that I did at the Mount Blue RSD Summer Technology Institute last summer. It's one of my favorite organizing tools, something that I use actually more for myself than I do in my classroom, but I will show you many ways that I do use it. Um, so I created for the Summer Institute this quick little document just to explain quickly what Google Keep is and a few of its highlights. So it's actually a personal note taker or organizer app, and it's free. That's the best part. And it actually, you can go find it in a couple different places, and I will show you where that is. You can also share these items between different platforms. You can use the Google Keep app, or also you can access it through any Google program that you're currently using that supports Keep, like Slides, Docs, Calendar, or Sheets. And I'll give you an example of that in a little bit. Some of the highlights are that you can sync Google Keep with Google Drive and other Google platforms, kind of like I already said. You can collaborate with others about your notes and lists. That's a really cool feature. You can add voice notes quickly. That feature, though, is actually only available on the mobile app. You can grab editable text from a hand-drawn note. So, for example, uh, if you are taking notes at a workshop, for example, and you want to type out those notes to share with someone who was absent, you could actually just take a picture of your notes and it will pull out all of the words and put them in type format. So that's really cool. I'll show you an example of that. You can add time and location-based reminders to your notes to remind you when to do important things. You can archive old notes that you're no longer using anymore to kind of tidy up your notes section so it doesn't get too confusing and cluttered. You can color code your notes, and you can also filter your notes and lists and create labels to keep everything organized. So I'll show you some examples of that as well. The way I learn things is by watching YouTube videos. So I put a couple helpful YouTube videos that were good for me. I included those and also some other resources about what Google Keep is and how you can use Google Keep in your classroom to help you from Shake Up Learning with Casey Bell. So that was my handout that I had for our Summer Institute. So let's get right in and take a peek at what it is because it's pretty amazing. So, like I said, you can go to Keep a couple different ways. You can download the app, or you could open up a blank tab, search bar in the search, and you can just type in keep.google.com and it will get you into Keep. And then the third way to get into it, if you already have an account created, is you just open up a new Google Docs or anything Google. I'll just do docs.new. And open up a new doc. So when you open up a new doc, you will see over here on the right hand side, there's tasks, there's contacts, there's maps, but you'll also, in your calendar, but you'll also see this little yellow box with a light bulb inside. That's your Google Keep. So you can click on it there and it will open it up in the sidebar for you as well. So I just wanted to share that as well. I'm going to go back to my Google Keep, and I always have pinned at the top of mine my grocery list. So this is just a very small example of my grocery list. It's actually much larger. And so I want to show you how to make a quick grocery list. So you would start off by going up here in this bar where you would take a note. And I'm just going to close that left side for a second. So take a note. And so you have a couple little icons over here. You can create a new list. You could make a new note with a drawing, or you could do a new note with an image. So I'm going to do a checklist. That's what I did with my grocery list. So I'll do that. And you can title it. I will title it books. Well, actually, I'll title it to do. It'll be a little easier. And you can see it already has a place for me to add my first item. So I will say record Google Keep session. Okay, so that's my first task. If I hit return, it goes down to the next list item. I could say eat at Mom's. So there's lots of different things. You can just keep adding. If you want to pin a list, they're up in the, my Grammarly is in the way, I apologize. But there's a little pin up, a little push pin up in the corner. You can just click that and that will pin your note. It filled it in for you and you'll see that it will stay at the top later. There's also a couple little buttons at the bottom. So you could set a reminder later today, 8 p.m. I need to make sure that I have this recording done. You could add a collaborator. So if I was on my grocery list, I might add my husband as a collaborator. So if we both have it on our phones and we go to the grocery store, we're both in different parts, we want to divide and conquer, we could each be checking things off the list and I'd be able to see what he was checking off and he could see what I was checking off. So I'll show you that real quick. So on this grocery list, if I check milk, the first item, it removes it from the top and you can see that it went down here at the bottom. It doesn't delete it, which is nice. If I decide, for some reason, then I want to reuse this list, I could just go back and put milk back up on the list by unchecking it. So as I get things, I can check them off and you can see that they're moving down to the bottom. And then when I get home, after I have everything, if those are regular items, I can just uncheck them and they go right back on my list and I can reuse it. So that's something that I always have. I'm always adding to my grocery list on my phone. So I had started this to-do list right here. Notice it went to the top. So if I double click it, it will open it again. And so let's see, I could add a collaborator. I just shared that with you. You just put in their email address to share it with them. And I could add background options. So here's where I added my vegetables right here, my grocery list. So I just clicked on that and it puts my grocery list. If you don't like that, you could do bowl of spaghetti, eat at Mom's. If you don't want any design, you could just pick a color like, oh, this is soothing. So you could just make your list a certain color. Sometimes I categorize different things by color as well, and I'll show you that. Okay. So that's the color button. You could add an image. So you could, if you click on add an image, it will take you to your downloads, your desktop, wherever you have the image that you want to put on, and you just select it and it will put it on there. And I'll show you one that I put an image at the top of as a heading. You can also archive your note that you've created. And there's the three little buttons. You can delete the note. You can add a label. So I love labels. So these are labels that I already have. So I could just add it to, since it's my to-do list, I can pick home, and you can see up here now, not only does it have a reminder, but it also is under the label home. I can also remove that label by clicking on it. And then let's see, we can also make a copy. I can hide the checkboxes. Since I already have checkboxes, let's say I don't want them anymore, I can uncheck and hide them. I can also copy this to Google Docs, and I can go back to version history, which I absolutely love. So there's lots of different things you can do with a note. So let's close that. Um, let's just show you some different notes that I have. So as you can see, these are my pinned ones and they're at the top, but I have a whole boatload of other notes. One thing I love to do is go to the library to get books. I get them not only for myself, that's my to read, but I also get them for my mother-in-law. And what's really nice, if I double click on the list, I can see these are books that I'm looking for when I go, and I'm constantly, whenever she sees something, on the television or in a magazine that she would like to read, she sends it to me and I add it to her list. But I also I like seeing what she's already read, because then, I won't duplicate that accidentally. So that's great. And you can see that it's in the book club and books to read label. Okay, so you can do that. I also have different ELA resources. These are some pictures of some notes that I have taken. And let's see, I can click on this one. And so this was a speaker that we had at school, and one of the features is right here, grab image text. And so these are notes that I took, and I just drop them into a note, and I just hit the button that says grab image text, and it goes through and it pulls out all of the text. So that's if I were to share that information or wanted to retype it, it would save me time having to retype. So that's pretty cool. I also wanted to show you over here on the left-hand side. These are all of my labels that I've created. And another couple ways that I love to use Google Keep are my emojis. So in my Bitmoji, I created some pictures, and I dropped them into each of these is a separate note. And the way that I use these is when I was an elementary teacher, I would put stickers on kids' papers when they did a good job. So I can go over here into a Google Doc, and I, over on the right, can click on Google Keep, and I can scroll down. I'm sure there's an easier way to find my emojis. I think I can search emojis. There we go. And I can just take this emoji and drag it to a student's paper, drop it on there, and there it is. And I can shrink it right up. And so like if I'm, reviewing students' work in Google Docs, and I'm always trying to give them feedback, this is just a quick, easy way to give some feedback, and it kind of personalizes it a little bit. It's a little bit of fun. I love this one. Celebrate. Okay. So that's a really neat thing that I could do. Another thing that I do is let's see if I can do my writing comments. Let's see. I'm not finding it. Let me just scroll down real quick. I think they're purple. I apologize. Oh, there's a school calendar. Anything you want to save, you can basically just, make it a PDF and drag it in. So here it is. Sorry, it was green. So like, for example, if I'm working on an essay, let's say this Google document is an essay, a student's essay, and I just go over to the right, I open up Google Keep, and if there are certain comments that I use frequently, I could just go over here and I could copy that and drag that comment over to the student's paper. So instead of having to retype the same thing over and over over and over again, I can do that. I also keep lists of my language arts standards, and so I can check things off as I've completed as many times as I want throughout the year. So I just wanted to show you how easy it is. I like having that open on the side, and I just an example of how I use it in the classroom. One more thing that I did was on my Google Note, we did a winter school one winter around COVID, and we created a note for a student. Let's go just back to notes here. I created a note. I put the student's name at the top, and I put the student's name at the top, and then we listed for each student what assignments they had. So we did a checklist, and we listed all of, just like the grocery store list. And then I went to Collaborator, and I shared the note with the student. So each student was shared their own note. And it took a little while to set it up, but the students then also could see their list. And as they completed things, or as I corrected things, we would go in and check these things off. So they could see their to-do list dwindle. And there's something exciting about being able to cross some things off. So overall, there's so many more things that you can do. So what I would highly recommend is I would go down here, just go on YouTube and type in Google Keep, and you will get so many different, absolutely so many different examples of how to use it in your classroom. One more thing I wanted to show was at the bottom, up at the top, there was also, up here, you can refresh your screen. You can do list view so that all of your things are in a list instead of a grid, which is perfectly fine. I like grid view. And then you can go into settings, and you can look at some keyboard shortcuts or things that might be easier for you. So that's about it. I hope you find that this might be helpful in some way. I'm sure there's 1,000 other ways that you could use this that you can think of that I just haven't touched upon. So have fun with it, play around, and get yourself organized. Thanks.